Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today we have another roster update guide. Now I know this one has taken longer than normal. There's going to be a couple of reasons for that. I'm going to state later in the video and stuff like that. But we're going to get started right away. First and foremost, this is a PS5 exclusive roster. For some reason, people just don't want to pay attention and don't want to watch 30 seconds of a video to know that it's a PS5 roster, or even look down at the buttons at the bottom of the screen and see that it's at least a PlayStation controller in use, right? So that is the number one thing. It's a PS5 exclusive roster. Sorry to anybody that's on Xbox or PC. Sorry. I figured there's probably people doing roster updates on those platforms as well that are probably putting just in as much work or close to as much work, or at least getting the rookies done on the correct teams. I have run into a wall. We'll get into that in a little bit and all that fun stuff. So, if you do not want to listen to my whole spiel about, stuff going on with the roster and all the information that I normally give out, go ahead and skip to the time card below. It should be saying something. I don't know. I'm currently recording this, so I won't know what time until I'm done with the actual spiel and everything like that. So go ahead and skip that if you don't want to listen to that, and if you just want to see the rookies that have been created and all that fun stuff going forward. First and foremost, since this is one of the biggest questions, I cannot change dev traits. I cannot change dev traits, contract money. I can't technically change contract years either. So dev traits, and I can't change dev traits on the rookies I'm making or any current players, okay? I can't change age, and I can't change experience. Those are the four things I cannot trade, I cannot do. For some reason, somebody does have an injury still on them, like CJ Moore, like Ryan Jensen, and so on and so forth. Those guys I cannot fix either. They are going to have to be injured for now. Of course, CJ Moore has just recently signed with the Lions, and his injury thing was because of suspension, and Ryan Jensen's is because he doesn't know if he's going to retire. Yes, Darren Waller's technically in the retire list too as well, so we'll get into all that as well. Like I said, this is a PS5 exclusive roster. I am getting the rookies done, and that's the next thing I do want to talk about. I have hit a wall in the creative player limit, so I'll show you what I mean once we download the roster and get going. So first and foremost, you guys are going to head over to this little NFL icon, the Creation Center. Head over to share and manage files. Download community files. You do have to download the roster every single time you want to have the new update. We are now 4th on the community files on PS5, so it's pretty easy to find. If you sort by date, it's normally updated about every day or so. If you want to get the Madden 24 one, just look up my username ID, GreenMachineSam. Just look up my online ID, and you should be able to find it. If you've already downloaded it and you don't know how to save it, just download it again. It should bring up this little option. Overwriting your file just saves it as the same name and gets rid of the old file. Saving it as a new file, you would have to put in a brand new name, and then of course you would be able to keep that one and the old file. I don't know why you would want to keep the old file, because it won't have as many jersey numbers updated and as many rookies. Then, of course, you want to go to load and delete files, because you have to load the roster anytime you want to use it, you look at it, or do anything with it. If you guys want to look at the roster, if you guys want to put it into a new franchise, and yes, you do have to start up a new franchise to be able to play with the new roster. I don't know why some people think that you can load a roster into your existing franchise when you're 4 years into the future. Why would you want to even do that anyway? So you must load the roster. I normally load it twice, so watch, I'll just load it, boom, file loaded successfully, and you want to just maybe load it again, just to make sure that you do have the correct roster. Because half the time when I ask people, hey, did you even load the roster? Because they'll be like, hey, the rookies aren't showing up. It's the same old roster. Did you even load it? And their first response will be, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to load it. You're supposed to load it, okay? That's first and foremost. Okay, so then, of course, you see Caleb Williams, and then you'll see a bunch of other rookies as well as we get going. Now, like I said, of course, I hit the player creator limit, so create a player limit. Anytime I go into create a player and create a rookie, they do not show up on the team. And I found this out. I found this out multiple years ago that does happen, first and foremost. But then secondly, I found it all out while I was doing the 7th round. I got to So I got all the way down to Jaden Davis out of Miami, and I think it was, I don't remember what other college he goes to, but he's out of Miami for this year. Jaden Davis going to the Cardinals, pick 226. I had gotten all the way down to him, and I wanted to go save the roster, and I realized none of the rookies were being added, so I didn't get Dejon Anthony, Brendan Rice, or Jaden Davis. None of those three showed up. So I kept trying other stuff. I kept trying workarounds that I had used in the past, and it just they weren't showing up. So yes, it is only from picks 1 to 123. Well, 1 to 223. So of course there's only 3 rookies in the 7th round that were actually able to be made. We'll start off with those guys. So the Raiders ended up having Trey Taylor out of the Air Force, Javonte Jean-Baptiste out of Notre Dame, going to the Commanders as well, an edge rusher. I guess he's on the other side. Yes, here he is. And then, of course, Travis Clayton, the UK guy, going to the Bills. I have him as a right tackle for now because they just needed a right tackle over a left tackle. So, yes, rookies are basically done. I'm going to go through, and I'm probably going to I might overwrite some players. So what I plan on doing is, if you go to sign free agents, you can go to age, or you can go to here, and you can overwrite some of these guys. Some of these guys I feel like you shouldn't really care about. Now, of course, the age does have to match up because, of course, like I said, I can't change age. But when are you going to use a running back that's a 55 overall, 22 years old, 88 speed? No offense to Tyon Evans out of Louisville, who's a rookie. Let's be honest, you're not even getting picked up on future reserve contracts. You're probably not going to get signed. Some of these guys that are maybe 7th round rookies or undrafted priority free agents, some of those guys might have a little bit better of a chance to, of course, make a team. But like I said, age has to match up. I'll move him to punter and kicker and make him a 75 overall. It'll give him a 3-year deal. And then, of course, for the 7th round rookies, they'll be 1 year less than what they should have, but it's still good enough to be able to use them. You would just have to go in and create a 4th year. Some of the guys that I am looking to create in the 7th round as well is probably Brennan Rice. I think he's a big enough name. I think he has a good chance of making the Chargers opening day roster. Nick Samick out of Michigan State going to the Ravens. MJ Devonshire going to Pittsburgh. No, from Pittsburgh going to the Raiders. Michael Juergens is another one that I kind of like, that I kind of think will make the team. Matt Lee is another one. Some of these guys are going to be more offensive lineman based, as well as it's just going to be, positional battles and who I think can make the team. Michael Pratt out of Tulane. I think he can make the Green Bay's opening day roster as that 3rd QB at minimum. And of course, there's some priority undrafted free agent guys. There might be a couple other guys that might be missing that I might just be going over that I don't think are going to be great right away. This is just my opinion too. If you don't like my opinion, you're more than welcome to create over some of these guys anyway. Or if for some reason you can create rookies, you're more than welcome to finish out your team's draft class if they had a couple picks in the 7th round, of course. And then let's go ahead and get into the 6th round guys as well. So for me, there's probably maybe at max going to be 10 guys added if I can't find an actual workaround where I can get more creative players done through the creative player process and not through, going over somebody. By creative player, I do mean, of course, the little tab if you scroll back, creative player and edit uniforms. So you can create a player or you can edit a current uniform. It's just to save your uniforms. If you like a certain combo and they don't have it, you can technically just save it and match it up, of course. So, like I said, I'm more than likely done for the most part. And of course, like I've said, I am updating jersey numbers. There are some guys, like I have said, that I cannot update because they are sharing jersey numbers. One of the guys that I just recently got done on the Cowboys, who is a wide receiver, he is technically sharing a number with one of the backers. And so is Tyron Johnson. Tyron Johnson is sharing number 13 with, it should be Demarion Overshawn. And then, of course, Damone Clark is sharing a jersey number with, of course, Ryan Florney. Now, of course, since Tyron Johnson and Florney are less likely to make the roster than those two linebackers, I figure let the linebackers keep the numbers and so on and so forth. So if there are anybody that is sharing a jersey number, they might have an incorrect jersey number in Madden. I'm not allowed to be able to make players to share jersey numbers, as well as the fact I'm just going to give it to who's more likely to, of course, make the team and probably keep that jersey number. I know one right now is technically B.J. Ojulari on the Cardinals. They have decided to give number 18 to Marvin Harrison Jr., or at least he paid for it. And BJ just hasn't picked out a new jersey number, so I gave him 58 for now. Once they do pick out new jersey numbers, of course, I will give them to him. But for now, if a player does not have a jersey number, or if they're sharing one, I'm just going to give it to the more likely player to make the opening day roster, as well as be a starter or be a superstar. Now, of course, some of these rookies have been out longer than others because I have been posting them as I'm getting them done. So Walter Ruse out of Oklahoma, the other tackle out of Oklahoma. I just put him at left tackle. If he's supposed to be playing right, he can go play right. It's not that big of a deal. I just figured with David Questenberry and Blake Brendel being at right tackle, I figured it did not matter as much. Logan Lee, part tight end, more deep tackle. He will be coming in being a backup, competing for that probably third or fourth defensive end, 3-tech spot. Sota Lamia on the Seahawks. They add yet another guard to come in and compete right away. Phil Haynes is actually supposed to be a free agent. Marcellus Dial, one of the guys I liked out of South Carolina. He is going to the Patriots. I don't remember if I have him as a corner. Yes, because it did have him listed as a corner on a lot of websites I saw. Kamani Vidal out of Troy going to the Chargers. A lot of people ended up liking him, and some people were like, why did he go so low? He's 5'8", he's 213 pounds, he's not the most explosive guy. There's not many other reasons. The Titans add a wide receiver, and then you will also see one of their newest free agent pickups, Tyler Boyd. They added Jaquan Jackson out of Tulane. And like I said before, if any information about these rookies is wrong, college, height for the most part, if it's way off, go ahead and let me know, and I'll try to get it fixed, of course. Darius Masua. I don't know how to say half these names. I'm going to be honest. I didn't look up pronunciations of some of these guys' names. So if I get them wrong, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be unintelligent. It's just something that's going to happen, right? Some people still can't say Giannis Antetokounmpo correct. And I probably can't even say it all the way correct either. Malik Washington out of Vanderbilt goes to the Dolphins. Johnny Wilson goes to the Eagles. He should be pretty fun to use inside of Madden. Yes, he's 6'6", 231. But for me, since he's pretty shit at route running and creating separation and after tackle, he has such high catch, stats. You should be able to throw the ball to him a lot in this if you want to use him. Chase McClellan out of Bama going to the Falcons, one of the running backs I actually liked. Casey Washington going to the Falcons as well. So they had back-to-back picks. So him out of Illinois. Like I've said before, this is something I kind of forgot to mention earlier, is Casey Washington. As you can tell, his face doesn't match up with a lot of stuff you're going to see, like his portraits from Illinois. The portraits on Madden are not a reflection of how the player looks. They're a reflection of how they look in the game. So when you're playing the game, that is how I want them to look. It's more about how the helmet fits them, long neck, a whole bunch of different things. How their face looks inside the helmet is what I'm more going for than anything else. I'm not too worried about the portraits. The portraits do not matter, since a lot of them aren't going to be anywhere near correct anyway. Jamal Hill, former safety, going to the Texans. He's going to have a lot of speed. He's going to match up with Christian Harris, Aziz Toto, Jacob Phillips, Hewitt, Deshaun Phillips. He's going to match up with all those guys. They're going to be a fast fucking linebacking group. Hopefully they can develop. Lions ended up taking Mekhi Wingo out of course, LSU. Dylan McMahon, a lot of people were saying undersized. I don't think he's that undersized. I think he was 6'4", 6'3", 297. Yeah, so, it's not that big of a worrisome. As well as I was trying to more match, of course, skin tone as well, just so that the player looks more correct, right? I'm not trying to get the faces perfectly on there. Deshaun Palmer going to the Cardinals, adding another receiver to that group. DJ James out of Auburn going to the Seahawks now. So he's going to be coming in, competing for one of those roster spots with Pritchett. Joe Milton, one of the big guys here. And of course, like I've said before, kickers and punters and quarterbacks do have different overalls. So based upon where we ended, which was Bo Nix being a 70, the next quarterback would be 69, and then of course minus the round. No, so it would have been off of Travis Jones and not Travis Jones. Jesus fucking Christ. Jordan Travis. He was a 64, so you take one overall off 63, and then minus the round differential. So Joe Milton is in 62. Very high athleticism, but not a very good quarterback nonetheless. Tyler McCallahan. Tanner McLaughlin going to the Bengals. They add another tight end to that room, so it's going to be a heavy battle between those guys. Ryan Watts going to the Steelers, of course. He will be another special teamer, another one of those big physical guys that they like. So Ryan Watts out of Texas. Then you have Tyler Davis going to the Rams, a D tackle. He is more of a nose tackle. I do not have him at a D tackle right now. I have him more of that right end spot. I will probably move him inside and maybe kick Kobe Turner to that right end spot, if anything. Now that, of course, Aaron Donald is gone and they're going to need more of that rusher. Then the Falcons also picked up a D tackle, Zion Legee. Patrick McMorris going to the Dolphins, a safety. Dolphins having to rely on a lot of these later picks because of the fact that they do not have a ton of top draft capital based off their trades and stuff. Then, of course, the Saints ended up picking up a D tackle as well in Christian Boyd out of Northern Iowa. Then the Panthers, a run of corners and D tackles. The Panthers ended up picking up Jaden Crumdy out of Mississippi State. Travis Glover, a tackle going to the Packers. He's going to come in. I think he did play left tackle, and I think that's why I have him listed over there. So they do have a lot of left tackle depth. You can move guys around accordingly based off of how you want the O-line to be set up. I know there's rumors about Zach Tom kicking inside and everything. Until those are completely true, and I completely skipped over a player, we did skip over Micah Abram out of Marshall. Will Richard, this is going to be one of the first kickers. So, of course, he's going to be a little bit higher in overall. We decided to start them off at... Nope, I went to the wrong team. Vikings. He'll start off as a 70 and then, of course, work our way down. Tylen Grabble out of UCF going to the Bills, a left tackle that you've probably already seen, basically on the fact that we did have to show off one of the Bills' 7th rounders. Then the Texans took a running back in Jawar Jordan. And then, of course, Nathaniel Watson goes to the Browns. They're going to get that backup middle linebacker. He does have like a nickname, so I did decide to include that on it. Michael Jarrell going to the Seahawks, so they're adding even more backup depth, and this is where the 65, they dropped down to 65 now, so he'll go to the Seahawks out of Findlay. And then, of course, Dylan Laub going to the Raiders, going to be fighting for a spot there. Joshua Carty going to the Rams. We've already shown him off, so we'll just hop to the next pick then. Christian Mahogany, I think that's how you say his name, right guard, going to the Lions. He'll be start competing for that backup role as well. Kamal Hayden going to the Chiefs now. He is going to be a special teamer. Cam Little going to the Jaguars. Here he is, of course. He's going to be competing against Riley Patterson, who hasn't really found himself on a team consistently. Rams ended up picking up Jordan Whittington, the 3rd or 4th receiver out of Texas at this point. Right end, we're going to go back to the Bengals now. They picked up Cedric Johnson, guy out of Ole Miss. The 49ers picked up an offensive lineman. Jarrett Kingston out of... where is he out of? USC. Ryan Florney, we've already shown off, so I'm not going to go back to him at this point. Then we'll go down to Bo Lemur out of Arkansas. Going to the Rams, he'll be competing for that center position, of course. Devin Leary going to the Ravens, of course. With him being a pick down from Joe Milton, he'll drop down to a 61. Daquan Hardy going to the Bills. We'll go back to him. So he'll be competing for a special team spot, mainly because I think a lot of the defensive backs that the Bills did pick up via future reserve contracts. I'm not even on the right team. And then, of course, Elijah Klein out of UTEP going to the Bucks. Now, of course, all these guys are hand-created. All these jersey numbers I do try to get correct. I think Elijah Klein might actually be wrong. I think he's supposed to be wearing 79. I think I might have forgotten to fix that, and somebody else is wearing a jersey number that they're not supposed to. Maybe. I don't remember. I will have to look into that if he is wearing an incorrect jersey number or not. I think, Pat O'Connor's not supposed to have his jersey number. So, like I said, all these rookies are handmade. Yes, I did only get to pick 223. I figure 7th round rookies aren't that important to begin with, so I'm not going to be working over every single low guy. As well as, of course, I do have to match their age ups and stuff like that. But, like I said, if you guys enjoy this content or the content here on my channel, I would appreciate it if you guys do stick around and subscribe. I'll be back with more videos like this. I'll be back with more Tennessee Titans franchise. I got a couple videos in the work that I do want to get pushed out. I do have to create them. I don't know. I don't think I'll have a video for Thursday. I just don't have a backlog of videos right now. So, no video probably Thursday. And then, of course, one thing I will start working on almost immediately after I'm done with work tonight is I'll try to get probably custom depth charts out That'll probably be its own separate video. We'll probably do we will probably do custom depth charts another day. I'm going to try to get those done as soon as possible so that, you know, depth charts are correct and people aren't playing out of position and stuff. I will probably go ahead and also get 2K roster updates done probably this weekend as well, and potentially videos out for that. And then, of course, if anybody is asking, all retired players are at kicker. That is one thing I did want to go over. And, of course, the newest guy, Duke Johnson, retiring. So if you need a retired player for whatever reason, they are at kicker. If you guys do want to go grab one of them. Like I said, if you guys enjoy the roster, you guys can play with it. If you guys don't have to play with it. It's as simple as that. Like I've said before, I do all positions, well, all overalls by when a player is picked. And, of course, team positions like QB, kicker, and punter. And I don't want to overwhelm, you know, the system with and just completely fuck over Madden and just put a wrench in it. Those positions do get lower overalls just to help out a little bit better. And of course, kickers and punters going later in the draft, I do want to give them a little bit of a boost so that they're actually usable and playable and they actually sim correctly and all that fun stuff. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerned about the roster, whether it's a jersey number change, anything like that, let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to address it. I know I haven't been responding to as many comments as of recently. I do hope you guys do enjoy the roster. I put a lot of time and effort into it. But with that being said, guys, I'll be back with more videos like this. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about the roster, leave it down below, and I'll be back with more videos like this. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.